Welcome back to Talking Shit, where we are talking all sorts of shit. Schitt's Creek, that is. Today, we are talking about the penultimate episode of the series, Season 6, Episode 13, Start Spreading the News. I am Jess Sterling, and of course, I'm not alone. As always, I am joined by my co-host, who is secretly a millionaire and is definitely going to hand me an envelope with a check, which I definitely am going to cash and not return. Stuart! Stuart, how are you?
I fucking wish. That's all I'm gonna say. If I was sitting on $46 million and I could just casually hand out little envelopes to people I know and love, absolutely. But no, sadly not. Sorry, Jess,
Yeah.
to bust that bubble. I am not a secret
How much do
millionaire.
you think Twyla was trying to give
I thought you were about to
Alexis?
say, how much do you earn?
How much money is in your bank account right now?
How much? I don't know how much she would have given, because it was like the dresses were like Alexis's old ones, so there must have been, I'm guessing designer must have been worth a fair bit anyway. Plus, it was more on top of that. So, I don't know, maybe like 50,000. Is that
Woo! That's
a
way
lot
more than I thought. I
Well, I
was
imagine that.
thinking like 5 or 10.
Well, I mean, either way, both are substantial amounts of money.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking, what would the designerness of them all?
Yeah.
Like,
And I don't know what Canada is like, obviously, but I will say in like the States, there's a certain number is like 15 grand, or there's some magic number where you can gift it to somebody without paying taxes on it. So like a lot of times if someone is like giving someone a substantial amount of money, you will give it in like that quantity. I want to say it's like 15 grand, but I don't know for sure.
I think we have similar rules. It's kind of like, I don't know when it drifts into like inheritance or whatever like that. I know that there's this rule with inheritancy stuff that you give that, provided you don't die within the next 7 years, then it's tax free or something. Because there's like loads of people that are offloading wealth to their kids and then like doing it early, and so I can
The
see you
dream.
enjoy it, kind of thing. Meanwhile, I'm looking at my parents and going, do you not want to do that? Do you want to just sell the place and give me loads of money? And mom was like, no, I'm attached to the place I live. And I'm like, how dare you? How dare you sit
Think
on that
about
generational
the
wealth?
children.
Exactly. Think about just funding my lifestyle. How dare you? Yeah, no.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot going on this episode. It is. What did you think about it? I mean, I feel like it was going to be a tearjerker regardless, because we are like getting so close to the end. But I do think there are a few moments that could get someone this episode.
A few, like this one, I think is. I watched it immediately after we recorded last week, and I sobbed, and then said to myself, okay, putting that away, and I'm not thinking about it for a whole week, because then I can process it. I can come back to it, rewatch it just before we record now, and I'll be fine. So I watched it about an hour ago. And I'm so thankful that I left a good half an hour break between finishing it and doing this, so that I wasn't an absolute puffy mess, because I sobbed all over again. This one got me so much. And it might be because I've got a similar thing at the moment with a friend moving away that I'm very sad about, that is like hitting me. But like the Dave and Stevie of it all, the Alexis and Twyla, I was just a wreck for it all, because I think, yeah, it's applicable to me, but it's also navigated so beautifully.
Yeah.
In such a nice way that doesn't. Oh, I mean, it's sad for what it is, but it's also really empowering for them, and I really like the way in which they've done that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm really high on this episode.
I mean, it's a great one. It's obviously a great one, because they are setting things up for the finale, which is next week. And they have a lot of loose ends they kind of have to tie up before they can do the big finale. So there's a lot to get into. Let's recap the episode before the fact that this is the penultimate episode causes me to spiral. Stevie accidentally lets it slip to David that Patrick was trying to buy David a house in Schitt's Creek. And after a heart-to-heart where Stevie questions why David wants to return to New York City at all, David decides he doesn't want to be somewhere Patrick doesn't want to be. And they put in an offer on the Kate Winslet from The Holiday lookalike house. So cute. Stevie is also staying in Schitt's Creek with Roland to help set up the new motels, so at least he will have a friend nearby because the rest of his family is off. Alexis prepares for her new life in New York by offloading some old clothes to Twyla, who lets it slip that she actually won the lottery years ago and won $46 million. And she just does the job at the cafe to make her smile, which, like, girl, whatever floats your boat, Twyla. When Twyla tries to give Alexis some money to jumpstart her new life in New York City, Alexis boldly declines, wanting to do it on her own. And she will be doing it completely alone as Moira gets that diamond tennis bracelet from Tippy and an even bigger offer to appear on the Sunrise Bay reboot. She accepts, and that means her and Johnny will be off to California, where he will help establish Rosebud motels on the West Coast. Moira has an adorable goodbye to the Jazzagals, and we're all like Ronnie with something stuck in our eyes because the show is almost over, Stuart.
Even Ronnie cried. Ronnie cried. This is
Yeah.
ridiculous.
I
What
love
is the
Moira
show
going,
doing?
Veronica. I just
Yeah,
like,
that
so
was so
sweet.
sweet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Where
let
do you
me.
want to start? There's so much to get through.
Oh, where do we start? Because I feel like the David and Patrick. I mean, being the ending is what we should get on to towards the end. Maybe the whole just seeing the goodbyes of like Moira and everything. Maybe there
Yeah.
start there
Yeah.
because
Yeah. The Moira goodbye to the Jazzagals, right, where they're trying to be like, oh, screw Sunrise Bay, you don't need them, because Moira
so
gets
awkward.
here's the rumor from Jocelyn about like, oh, they're moving forward with the reboot, and Moira is trying to put her best foot forward, put on a brave face, and pretend like it's not affecting her. But like, ultimately, she lands the gig, and it's incredible. Like the fact that she went so high on what her demands were, knowing they would reject her, then for them to be like, okay, you're worth it, let's do it, is like astonishing. And
Mm-hmm.
uh I love her goodbye to the Jazzagals. I love that they all have these like I love New York shirts on to
Oh
like support
yes,
her. It's so cute. And then the hug, Stuart, I feel like it is such a great example of Moira's journey and Moira's growth that like she initially like rejects the group hug and she's like, no, no, no. And then she's like, okay, just one. And they all just come in for a big, it's so sweet. It's so cute. I loved it.
it's adorable. I think the whole way in which, obviously, like the dressing up for Moira and like giving her a goodbye. Quite rightly didn't get her a cake considering she messed up. Was it Grace's the
Grace.
one from the other
Mhm.
episode? Um, and yeah, I think that this was just supremely sweet. I think we've all had a moment where people have put their foot in it, and had to take back what they've said when they badmouth something to support you, only to really like not really mean it and have to like take it back. The reboot thing was so funny. Just seeing like how Twyla just did a complete 180 and just
Mhm.
like, who does like a reboot anyway? It's rubbish. Yeah, it was adorable. All I am question though is so Jocelyn kind of breaks the news to Moira about the reboot, but then Moira then gets the offer. So like Tippy was holding back and obviously from doing that. But are they like feeding out press releases beforehand? And if
I
so, does that mean Jocelyn has really tapped into like, media press releases?
Yeah, my assumption is that it's one of those things where there was like talks of the Sunrise Bay reboot and maybe nothing was actually confirmed yet. But
Mhm.
Jocelyn feels like someone who's in like a bunch of mom groups and like just gets a little
Oh.
bit of hot goss from those. And so she just like assumes that means it's true. Or I mean, it could be that they were going to go along with the reboot no matter what, and that it was just a matter of, well, if we can't get Moira, we'll move forward with whatever the other guy's name is, who I'm forgetting right now.
Oh yes,
Um,
yeah. So maybe he
mhm.
had like a tentative offer, and they were just like, well, if Moira accepts, then he's getting ditched, kind of thing.
Right.
Well, no, it wasn't even that he was getting ditched; he was still being hyped, but she had the ability to
Well,
like
no, he was going to get ditched. That was in her contract, was that she
ah
wanted him not there. And that was part of the episode where she says, like, Tippy said they want me more than they like,
hmm
my name will bring more to it
yeah,
than his will.
and I love the fact that that's the case, like because the whole point of the Sunrise Bay reboot is that it hinges on the fact that Moira's had this like big uptick in terms of her presence when it comes to the media.
Right.
What would the crows have eyes? Why, why am I not
3, the
remembering things?
crowaning.
3, that was it. So like with that, if it wasn't for Moira, they wouldn't even be having this conversation. So she should be the linchpin of these negotiations when it comes to the network. So yeah, get your diamond tennis bracelet, girl. The
Yeah.
way in which she tells the family though was hilarious with Alexis like getting and she goes, and the tennis bracelet, which you're giving me. It's like no,
Yeah. Oh
no, Alexis.
no. It's really good. And I'm like, I love I love Johnny's reaction too, where he's like so excited for her. He's like, "Oh, this is gonna like really like change things. Like this is gonna be
hmm
very difficult." And they're like, "Well, we'll just have to be bi-coastal. Like we're a power couple, right?" Like it's, a tricky commute is what he calls it. I adore that Johnny ultimately ends up that, he's going to be in California with Moira supporting her while still working on his business. I love that for them. I think no matter what, we would see this couple make it work, obviously.
hmm
But like, I adore that he is able to be like, oh, I made calls and now I'm going to be like setting up shop on the West Coast until your mother's like done with this. Because let's face it, if they're only doing like 12 or 13 episodes in this reboot, it's not forever. It's temporary. It's a few months, and then
Yeah,
then they could go wherever. They could go to New York. They could, seemingly move wherever.
yeah, exactly. I mean, the whole point of like Johnny's setting up of everything is that I mean they're going to be expanding out into different locations. So whether they
Right.
start East Coast or West Coast, it really doesn't matter that much. And like I said, it's a completely short period of time. It's like what, a 13 episode stint that they got greenlit.
Yeah, it's not
Of
that
course,
long.
of course, it'll get multi episodes, right? I mean, this is going to be a
Obviously,
success.
yes, obviously we will be looking at like 6 seasons and a movie. So yeah, it's going to be successful, obviously.
Are we
But
thinking it's going to be like this reboot is going to be like The Pit compared to ER, like slightly a bit grittier, maybe a bit more like kind of realistic and not as
yeah,
soapy and kind of like storytelling?
probably, but ultimately Moira is still on it. So
hmm
like you're going to have some sort of campiness with her involved. Yeah.
Oh yeah, but like, is it still going to be the same character, or are they going to like just change the name and then just when it comes to the legality of it, be like, no, it's
Yeah.
definitely a different universe, guys. You can't sue us. My
I think they have
my
to do the really
ghostwriter has no
soapy
claim.
I think they have to do the soapy trope of like, how are they bringing her back to life because she died?
Mhm.
Like, right? She drowned. She threw up a demon and then like drowned in the toilet or something.
Yeah.
Uh,
Well,
so
that's why you have writers, right? That's
yeah,
and sort
exactly.
out.
Lean
Yeah,
on
yeah.
them. So I love this for Moira. I love it for Johnny. They're off to the West Coast. And they have to break the news to Alexis because she starts the day thinking her entire family is moving to New York with her. She thinks me and David and Patrick are sharing an apartment. So I'm going to offload some of these clothes to Twyla. I think also she just like really values Twyla's friendship. So I think she kind of this feels like in a very Alexis way to like give someone a gift as well. Seemingly also while like taking some of it back while she's at the diner. But I love this. I love the little conversation they have. And I love Alexis being the one to impart some wisdom in terms of it's nice to have money and maybe money can't buy you happiness, but it can buy you things that will make you smile occasionally. So like
hmm
don't just hoard the money, like get yourself something that you'll enjoy. I love this conversation. It is so so sweet.
It really is, and I just the way in which Alexis brings that kind of like wisdom, and it's not just like treat yourself kind of thing. It's a bit deeper than that. It's just that you can bring yourself the odd little thing, odd little like kind of treat that's going to make you smile, because there is almost this way in which Twyla hasn't told anyone. I imagine a lot of it comes down to the secrecy of the whole situation, right? But I think it also comes down to, well, here's a family who has lost everything, and money clearly doesn't buy you happiness based on all of them there. So, like, maybe it's more of a curse than it's a blessing. I mean, you do find that with lottery winners quite often, is that their lives get ruined by it.
Yeah.
So, I mean, she's seen how her mother's reacted buying all the snowmobiles, it seems, from all the money that she's gifted her.
It's just insane. The other thing, like a thing to have multiple of, like more than 2, like snowmobiles. Why? Why do you need a ton of snowmobiles? What reason? I mean, at least they live in Canada. It'd be even more ridiculous if it was like, I live in Texas and I own 10 snowmobiles. But we joke that Twyla, Twyla at times seems to like lack a little common sense. She's a little bit like off at times, but the smartest thing Twyla ever did was tell no one that she won the lottery. Like, to be able to keep that a secret, and the fact that she goes, well, now that you're leaving, like, let me tell you something. I was like, damn, Twyla, look at you.
Still intending to keep it a secret by that virtue, which I really kind of like dig as well, because she's happy. Why does she want to rock the boat? Like, she's got the chatter gals, she's got the cafe, which she does seem to enjoy, to the point where
enough
she's
so that she's
buy
gonna
it.
buy it and rename it Twyla's Cafe.
No, Twyla's Cafe. No, Twyla's Cafe Tropical. Yes, I love it.
I'm picturing her just putting like, keep the sign for Cafe Tropical and just add Twyla's like above it in a different font.
The cheapest like inkjet print your own stickers of just her name slapped on the menu over the top left of that logo. Supremely tacky. I love it, because I mean, Twyla's just that kind of like, she'll just get on with stuff. Like, she doesn't need the fancy things. But yeah, I love the fact that Alexis did tell her to have the odd treat, to buy some things that are going to bring her some enjoyment, because Twyla effing deserves it. Twyla's been a rock throughout this entire series, for Alexis mostly, but like for a lot of like the family. I mean, she's been there to serve them. She's dealt with Johnny's BS, where when she had a like broken ankle, like she's had to put up with a lot of that crap. So like, she does deserve a treat.
And I don't know, and in my head canon also, we know now that like Johnny was terrible at like paying his tab, right? Like, she had to like hound him to get him to pay. She makes a joke this episode about the fact of like Alexis occasionally will like forget to pay her tab. In my head canon, times that has happened, Twyla has just like taken care of it with her winnings. Like, she is just like paid for it. Twyla just feels like a very charitable person, in that she isn't looking to like, be frivolous with her money or gloat about, be braggadocious about the amount of money that she has, but that like little things here and there she'll like take care of silently to help people, especially people that she cares about. And it makes perfect sense for her to then want to own the cafe and still work there, because she enjoys it. Like, she enjoys the work. So why wouldn't she want to do that? I love Twyla's entire mentality on all of this. And I love that Alexis refuses the money. Like, it is, imagine us, like, you would never guess Alexis would do something like that in the very first episode of the show. It's just such a huge statement on how her mentality surrounding money has changed. And she just wants to do this on her own. And I love that she says, but if you want to use it to like come visit me, like if you want to buy a plane ticket, that's so sweet. Like, the fact, I think Alexis is going to need someone like that, like someone to be a rock for her beyond her family, obviously. I think she needs someone that can ground her in moments, especially with her moving to New York City.
Yeah. I feel like Twyla telling Alexis about the money was like a final test of just how much has Schitt's Creek changed Alexis? How much has she learned from it all? And I think the test was, okay, I'm going to tell you about this. How is she going to react? Is she going to be angry? Because really, like, a solution to all their problems was here the whole time. Like, Twyla could have like given them a loan and they could have like made the money back because of all their connections and all the ways in which they could have like gotten out of it. So like there's that thing. Does Alexis ask for money? Like, is another thing that like that would have been horrible if that had happened, but it's a possibility. And she doesn't do either of those things. She reacts so positively and encourages her to spend her money on herself. Like, I feel like that was just like passing the test with flying colors. And then to get extra credit, she then turns the money down at the end. Like, it was so perfect and it's such a fantastic way to show how much growth Alexis has gone through. And this isn't just in the sense of like rejecting the money because of like learning that money isn't everything. It's the growth. It's almost like seeing Alexis's confidence of just like, no, I'll make this work on my own merit. Like she wants to feel like she's earned it, just like she did with her education, just like she's done with her little business that she started up. Like she's doing everything off of her own back. So just because there's an easy option now doesn't mean she's always going to take that easy option, which I think is just, oh, it's so remarkable. And like, I do like the fact that it's still approached with humor and like just acknowledging that she will regret it immediately, but still choosing the bad thing and then just holding on to the envelope. That's like, and the pair of them joking about it, like it was just so good.
Especially because not only does she turn down the money, but when she finds out that her parents and David are not going to New York with her, that David will be staying in Schitt's Creek, which we'll talk about, and that her parents are going to be in California, it would be so easy for her to say, like when her dad says, "Oh, so I guess you'll be coming with us, Alexis, to California." It would be so easy for her to say, "Yeah, of course." And also, like, again, pointing out that it's not like her parents are moving to like Minnesota, like or somewhere, like, like they're moving to presumably Los Angeles, which is another massive city. She could easily get that sort of work in that city. Like New York and LA in terms of job opportunity for the field that Alexis is in, very similar. But she can do the same
Epicenter for
thing.
like PR and like marketing for, well, at
Right.
least like public relations for an actress that she's
Right.
been doing for her mother. Like it transfers so well to that place,
And
right?
she also has the safety net of Moira being there too, so she could theoretically, have connections there, networking, whatever. The fact that she still turns it down to forge her own path, to like, find her own way in New York is so remarkably admirable. Like she's just showing her independence, and she's always had a little bit of an independent streak. Like we've heard the stories of like the travels that she had, but she always had the safety net of money and connections to back her up. And she doesn't have that now. It's very much sink or swim all on her own back. And the fact that she is still, wanting to go to New York alone is it's so admirable. Like she really is like, she'll have it all. And Moira congratulating her, like Moira is the person who didn't have Alexis's cell phone number, okay? Like the fact that she's just like, you take that ember of independence and you keep it burning because you, my darling, are destined to be on fire. Like, come on, it's so perfect. It's so good.
Moira had some really kind of great lines in this episode. Like I felt like she was really kind of like underlining some really poignant moments with great poetry almost. Like what's it she says to the Jazzy Girls? You've helped me find the beauty in the bucolic, which is just like, I did have to look up bucolic, not gonna lie.
Of course you did.
But because I wanted to know whether it was actually a backhanded compliment kind of thing. But no, bucolic is just like country life. And it was so true because she has found the beauty in the bucolic. Yeah, it did take her to get to the point where they have to leave for her to, smell the lavender and the but it's true. And the way in which she kind of like underpins that with Alexis's thing and like kind of really kind of marking it and like saying that she's going to be on fire is absolutely true. I think they have the utmost faith in Alexis in doing this all on her own, and I I love the fact that she's chosen to do it in such an independent way. However, I will just say I have a slight headcanon. I think there's also an aspect of if, well, because we've established like Schitt's Creek is Eastern Canada, right?
Right.
Local. It's local to like for Twyla to visit, local for her to go back and see David and Patrick, Stevie, and
Yeah,
everyone. I think there is a slight aspect of that. And I feel
that's
like
true.
she's
It
like
is a
a good.
very, yeah, like a shorter plane ride to
Hmm.
like Toronto or wherever it's close to. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that's true.
So
Yeah.
yeah, not entirely going independent, but I kind of like that because it's like independent enough, but still, I think there's still those like strong roots to
Mhm.
people that she loves, which she's still going to maintain. I
Yeah.
don't feel that this is going to be like we never see or hear from Alexis ever again.
Right. Well, she's not going to be going to New York with David because he is staying in Schitt's Creek. And I love how he comes to this decision where he has a conversation with Stevie. She tells him right out the gate, like, I'm not moving to New York. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I'm staying here with Roland. Like, we're setting up the branches here. And she lets it slip. The Patrick in the house situation. I also have a feeling, Stuart, that this was a very intentional slip because when David and Patrick talk later in the episode, and Patrick says he was going to keep it from David until after the wedding because David gets overwhelmed. I feel like Stevie would have known that. And I think this is Stevie just not, I don't want to say a manipulation, but more so like giving David some information that would may sway him in a different direction.
I
And
can
I
see that
think
as well. Yeah.
like especially when they do have the conversation sitting in front of this adorable cottage, like I think to see a house that could be yours, that could be real and yours and you could live here, and to know that the person that you care most about went out of their way to try to get you this house, I think like makes it's that much harder to turn it down. Um, Especially because I love Stevie being like, "Why do you wanna go back there? Like, what is in New York, that you so badly wanna return to? Because the friends that you invited from there, they're not coming. They're not coming to your wedding. Does that not prove to you that they are not actually your friends?" I love this. I love that it is Stevie and David having this conversation that is kind of what gets David to turn his mind around, because I think we could have seen it be Patrick and David where Patrick says, "I don't wanna go. Please don't make me move there."
Hmm.
But I like that it doesn't happen that way because Patrick is willing to go there. He doesn't want to, but he would for David. And I like that
Yeah.
that's not the reason that David kind of ultimately decides not to go.
Yeah. Because I feel like Stevie doing is really fulfilling the role of being like best person at this wedding and like kind of being just a great friend is just
Mhm.
taking a bit of a bullet there of awkwardness, whether it be like kind of just gently nudging towards the direction kind of thing of probably having suspect feelings of just like I don't think this is necessarily what he really wants, so I'm gonna kind of expose him to some information that he's going to find out anyway. Can do it by mistake and just prompt that reaction a little quicker because the timing is going to be better because it's not going to go too far down the line. Yeah, I totally subscribe to that kind of headcanon that Stevie is pulling a couple of strings here and there, like kind of doing that. And I think
Mhm.
doing so in such a virtuous way because, like, had Stevie not, I think this could have been one of those situations that boils over and gets to a breaking point and then becomes a bit difficult to navigate. Whereas now it's like you're making the decision at the point at which you can make a decision. And yeah, it's tough. Um, but it doesn't I mean, it kind of goes against a couple of people's expectations, but as we've seen in the episode, that's happening left and right. What with Moira's changing plans, what with I mean, even like David finding out that Stevie isn't necessarily leaving, like that.
Mhm.
A lot of these things changes a lot of people's perceptions, and I think all of it combined just forces people to kind of reconcile what it is they truly want. Because I think that a lot of it is David's thinking that, well, everyone's leaving, so we must do the same kind of thing. We can't be left behind. And so, yeah, I think that it was a great way of doing it. I was really worried when it did happen, but I was also a little, I don't know. I kind of wish there was a little more Patrick involved in it. But
Yeah.
I don't know if I can have that fixed without it being a bad thing, because I think had Patrick been involved, I think it would be that awkward conversation that you mentioned.
Yeah, I think that's where I land too. Like, of course I always want more Patrick. But I like that it's more like passive, or it's more that we find out that Patrick has done something so lovely in wanting to buy this house for him and David behind the scenes. And that when they do ultimately have the conversation between David and Patrick, that Patrick doesn't want to live in New York City, but he understands why David does. And he understands, like, the good for the business, right? Like, he does understand it. I like that he points out it's just hard to want to live in a place you've never even visited. Like, it's really hard
Hmm.
to even picture your life there. It is so vastly different from Schitt's Creek, that it's difficult to imagine his life there. And it takes Stevie saying, David, you have nothing to prove to anyone. Like, and even if you did want to prove it to those old friends of yours, number one, they're not your friends. Number two, you've won. Look at this house. Like, look at your soon to be husband. Like, look at the relationships you've built with your family. Like, you have won. You don't have to prove anything to those people. Why are you trying to blow that up just to prove something to someone when
Hmm.
realistically it's just going to cause a strain both on the business, on your relationship, like all of those things. And I'm usually not one for the move Patrick makes here, where he buys or he's at least attempting to buy a house without really having a discussion with his partner. That is a bold and dangerous move, in my opinion. I guess it helps that he didn't actually necessarily go through with it, right? Like, he just went up to them and was like, "Hey, if you ever want to sell, like, let me know." So
Hmm.
maybe he would have eventually
I feel
had
like
the
it wasn't
conversation.
pushing it too much. Like it kind of just found out all the parameters, and didn't go ahead and like actually buy
Yeah.
the place. Yeah, yeah. Had he actually put pen to paper, I think that would have been like, ugh,
That's
bit
because that's
much.
like it happens in The Office. Like, Jim does that for Pam with his parents' old house, and like that always was like, this is a step, you've already bought the thing. Like, you're
Hmm.
really taking a risk here on the person liking it and like
Is there a
appreciating
break
your
clause
vision.
in that contract?
Yes,
Like,
seriously. But yeah, the fact that Patrick doesn't actually, like you said, sign any contracts or anything like that, I think it all ultimately works out. I love the way David tells Patrick that he does want to stay is by blindfolding him and bringing him to the house. Um, I love this whole thing, and I think David and Patrick need something more key, like low key. Like, and I think the thing is, if Alexis is going to live in the city, go visit. Like, you can, you have a reason to go to New York City now, and it's to visit your sister. And like, if you eventually do want to set up a branch or franchise or whatever, and set something up in New York, you can. But it doesn't mean you need to uproot your entire life to follow someone else, because that's what you would be doing instead of establishing something of your own. And while I think Patrick would move to New York City if push came to shove, I don't think he would be happy there. And I think that would really cause a strain. So I was very happy to see David turn this down. And for the reason he turns it down it's his own decision, but it's pushed along by Stevie
mhm.
rather than Patrick, which I just think is like a very interesting swerve, and where I think most shows it would have been Patrick.
Yeah, yeah, and it would have been so much messier, and I'm glad of it not being messy. Like I said, the only reason I kind of wish that Patrick was a little bit more involved is because I don't know, it felt like initially Patrick felt very passive in the whole situation, but then again, it's a great way of showing that Patrick really does just love David. and will endure something that he's not sure about. And I think that's a good way of, like, Patrick's not necessarily against going to New York. It's just, well, it's an unknown. I've not even been there. Like, I don't know if I want to live there, but would do it for David. And so that was very sweet, but just felt very passive for me because I was just like, this is Patrick. I mean, he goes out and knocks on people's doors and asks them to sell their home if they're willing. Like, that's bold. Like,
Yeah.
imagine having the brass to do that. But the way in which, I mean, the gesture of it, it's like, because David has expressed interest in the place so much and like to go out and actually do that is so incredibly sweet. And the way in which Stevie acknowledges when David is like, "Who does that?" and just goes, "Good people." Like,
That's why we don't understand it.
I was like,
So
never
perfect.
related more to Stevie in my life, because it's like sometimes I am just in awe of people that do really not thankless, like he's gonna get thanked for it, but like, really sweet gestures like that. Like, people, sometimes people can be really lovely with things, and that kind of just
Yeah.
warms your heart a little bit. And Patrick's one of those people that just does it, I think, out of his nature. It's just his nature to be a very sweet, giving, and like
It's just who he
loving
is.
person. Yeah. Which probably explains why he's attracted to someone like David, because opposites attract. So maybe there's an
Can
aspect of
relate
that.
as the David. Can relate. Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I just, that whole acknowledgement was just adorable as well, and I love the fact that it isn't, again, like we talk about lesser shows. I think in other shows there would be like a weird hostile dynamic between Stevie and Patrick over claim of David, and we've never had that. We've always had this almost like Stevie championing the two of them because
Yeah.
Stevie wants David's happiness. And also, I think Stevie just likes Patrick, like, shockingly,
Yeah.
which is always a great thing to have. Like, I never come away from any of these relationships in the show and be like, ugh, that's a bit icky. I don't like that vibe. Very rarely. I mean, like, when's the last time Mutt related? Like, that's a long time ago
Yeah.
now. It's just so supremely sweet. And
Yeah.
yeah, to have Dan Levy just, you see the tears swelling the whole way through. He even does a single
Yeah.
tear at one point. Like, fuck off. Like, it's just outrageous.
I love like the idea that you watched this episode twice and both times you ended up like sobbing about it. The finale is gonna hurt your feelings. The finale is gonna wreck you. You
I'm
won't be
really
able to
worried for
recover.
it.
You're gonna have to like give yourself even more recovery time.
Well, this is the thing. It's like, do I watch it immediately? I mean, I've already
You're
acknowledged
going
to some
to.
people today. Like, well, that's the thing, is we record this. It's like, I can watch it. Do I do the crazy thing and watch it just immediately before we record the next episode and just turn up to it and go, this is the
I
worst
don't
thing
think
in
you
the
should.
world? No, I don't think I should. But
I
it
don't
would
think
be
that's
funny.
you'd be unwell. This is like what was I watching? I can't even remember what I watched, and I was like, I am unwell. I think I was messaging you. Was it Schitt's
Uh,
Creek?
oh no, I was thinking a particular episode of Succession, maybe, when you were like almost
Oh
like
well,
live recapping that, maybe. Would that
I
be
mean
one that
that
had that
episode
vibe?
did wreck me, but I think it was something more recent. But anyway,
Right.
yeah, yeah. I think you got to watch this one immediately after. But anyway, that's for next week's discussions. I think, are you ready to get into some feedback for this week's episode?
Certainly can do, yeah.
Okay, so we got an email from Kim. I'm so glad we made it to this episode. These last two are top favorites of mine for the entire series. I love that they have David find out about the house from Stevie because it shows how Patrick was just going to let it go and move to New York to make David happy. And I like that after realizing he doesn't want to leave Stevie and he has nothing to prove to his New York friends, David is the one to put the offer down and surprise Patrick. Alexis shows major character growth by turning down Twyla's money. Huge step for her. And Sunrise Bay is happening for Moira. I love the moment she has with the Jazzagals where she lets them know how much the group has meant to her. This episode has so much goodness, and I'll bet you will struggle finding a disgruntled pelican on this one. I can't wait for Stuart to see how the series wraps up. So much more goodness coming, Kim.
Yeah, I am. Oh gosh, so dreading this next episode because of that. I do want to say like the pointing out of like the New York friends as well. Like, oh, that bit where they really acknowledge it, and you see how raw that trauma of just vapid friends who aren't friends, they're like just horrible people, and just seeing that still affect David. And oh, to come out of it with that conversation with Stevie, and then to still be a shitbag to Stevie and ask about the deodorant.
The deodorant.
Well. Oh my god!
He's like, maybe it's the farm, and she's like, how dare you?
Yeah,
so good.
But yeah, it was. It's a great episode. The whole disgruntled pelican, though, yeah, I haven't considered that until now. And I'm worried.
I mean, the other one is how are we giving out a Simply the Best also? Both of them are going to be difficult because Simply the Best, there's too many options. And Disgruntled Pelican, it's like, who really sucks? Is there someone who sucks? We'll talk about it. I don't know. Okay, let's talk about our email from Olivia. Hi, my name's Olivia, and I've been binging your podcast for the past few months. Even though I'm binging, I'm only halfway through your season 5 commentaries, but I noticed that your podcast is sadly about to come to an end, so I had to send in an email. Oh my gosh, Olivia, we hope you're listening to this in the future. First of all, I've absolutely loved listening to you talk about one of my favorite shows of all time. It's been a treat to hear people have similar or different opinions from mine regarding the show and to hear different viewpoints. I've watched this show upwards of 10 times consecutively, and it does not get, that's a lot. I mean, I wonder if it's a bedtime show, because I feel like I call things a bedtime show. Like when you're going to bed and you want to put on something that, isn't going to give you nightmares, is going to like lull you into sleep that you kind of already know by heart. So it's like, it's just on the background.
You just drift off and have dreams of Bob jogs
and Patrick in blue shirts, exactly. It has top tier jokes, punchlines, and running gags, all while being so full of heart and keeping a clear direction throughout its 6-season run. I'm an avid sitcom watcher, and Schitt's Creek has some of the best character writing I've ever seen in a comedy show. When I'm finished with this podcast, I'll be hopping over to Jess's Community episode on pilot season, one of my other favorite shows. If you two decide to tackle another comedy after you tackle the Cones, of course. I know Parks and Rec is high on the list, but I personally recommend The Good Place. It's an even quicker watch than Schitt's Creek and my favorite show of all time, even above our beloved Schitt's Creek. Hard to compare the two because they're so phenomenal in their own right, but The Good Place takes the cake for me. Stuart, have you seen The Good Place?
I have. Shout out to a show like The Good Place that stuck the landing.
Knew when to end it. Yeah, they knew when to come to a close.
Knew when to end it, and also had one of like, I don't know, just the best endings. So great show.
The Good Place feels like a show where it's like, is there a single person who does not know the end of season 1 twist? Like, is there a single person out there who actually is somehow unspoiled by that? Because that would be astonishing to me personally.
Tell you what's great is there's a video of them being I think it's
yes,
Tani, Chidi, and it's what's the other guy's name? The one that Tani marries.
Jason.
Jason, yes. And they're being told about the twist.
Yes. It's so good.
So good, yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. Truly, it is one of the better sitcoms in terms of, in my opinion, of weaving comedy and drama. I think like it really it excels at that. Yeah. Truly amazing job on the podcast. You two and your guests have brought me so much levity. I almost read that as levy. I can't even help it. When I really needed it. Best wishes and warmest regards, Olivia. Well, Olivia, in the future, we hope you've enjoyed the rest of the ride. And I don't know how long it'll be until you get to this place, but we'll definitely have an announcement on what we're doing next. And I'm so happy you also love Community, because Josh Wiggler and I covered it all on Community Building. If you want to listen to that, I don't know if you have, but if you haven't, go listen to that, because he had never seen Community. And that was a really, really fun time for me because I adore the show Community. So yeah, go check that out as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's get into the tough stuff. We have some ratings we have to do, and I truly don't know how we're going to do it.
Do we have to? Do we have to do this?
Well,
It's our podcast. Why are we setting
just
these
don't give
arbitrary
out
rules
any
where we have to
points.
rank people? It's reductive, Jess. Why do we have to do this?
I don't even know how to do this because, like,
No.
when it comes to the simply the best, I honestly could give you arguments for so many people. Like, I mean, Stevie for having the conversations with David and, like, making him see the light of, like, New York City. David for coming around on the whole thing and staying in Schitt's Creek. Patrick for the whole house thing. Like, Moira for getting this, like, dream job and knowing her worth. Johnny for making the sacrifice to go to the West Coast and set up shop there rather than New York City. Alexis for being just, like, bold and adventurous and independent, and Twyla for winning a buttload of money and not telling a single soul. Like, there's so many people you could give it to that I am truly at a loss. It it feels like a slight to not give it, you know what I mean? Like, it just, like, to give it to one and then not give it to someone else just feels like it. I don't know. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, it's so hard.
Can we? If we give out multiples, I think it reduces the whole like being top winning points kind of thing.
Yeah.
So bold idea here, and I haven't pitched this to you before, so like feel free to
Okay.
reject this live on the pod. How about we give out a 3-pointer, a 2-pointer, and a 1-pointer for the MVPs?
Yes. I love that. I think we have to. I think that, like, this is a very special case scenario where we are nearly at the end of this, and like, we've never done this, but I do think, and I think we're going to have to do this next week too. I'm just saying it right now. I just think there are, like, too many good character moments for too many of the characters to, like, it's unfair to then not. Okay. So simply the best, we're going to have a 3-pointer, a 2-pointer, and a 1-pointer. So how do you want to start? Do you want to start low to high, high to
you
low?
frantically editing our document of how you're going to log me out is hilarious.
Listen, I have a document and I will update the document. I have a spreadsheet and I will update the spreadsheet.
Okay. I think we should go bottom up because
it's more exciting that way.
Keep the reveal that way.
Yeah.
So we need to think about it up front of who we're giving the top one to, so you don't kind of those ones. This is so tough. Why have we done this to ourselves?
No, I think okay. Let me think about this, because I think I know who I'm going to. I think I know who I'm giving the 3 points to.
Okay.
And then the 2 points. I know who I want one person to get points. I just don't know if I want them to get 2 or 1 is my problem. And then the last one. See, even reducing it to just 3 people. Like, there's so many of them. No. Okay. All right. I feel like let's do that.
I'm gonna go with my gut. I've done it. I've written it down.
Oh my. Okay. All right. Okay. All right. I think I've written mine down. I don't know if I'm solid on it, but here we go. Okay. I'll reveal my 1 point first. And like, I will say there is a bit of I'm trying to think of what the term is for it. There's a little bit of, like, a legacy situation here where I feel like throughout the series this person hasn't necessarily gotten a ton of points because there's just so many incredible characters and people that get more meaningful storylines. But for the legacy of it all, I'm giving Twyla my 1 point. I think Twyla's a fantastic character. I love her friendship with Alexis, her generosity in trying to give Alexis money and imparting this wisdom on her and being a really good friend, and honestly keeping her mouth shut about $46 million throughout the entire series is incredible. And I think for that reason, she deserves at least 1 point. And so I am going to give her that 1 point.
Same. Yeah! I completely agree. I said Twyla. Again, I don't think that she's, like, deserving of, like, top tier points, but, like, this is absolutely repaying Twyla for all the times that we've overlooked her, because she only has small moments in the show, and is so often overlooked while delivering some of the funniest lines, like, and just being just an absolute sweetheart. And like you said, keeping stum about $46 million. I would scream from the rooftops if I'd won a scratch card and won like a 10 bucks. Like I
Yeah,
would be
yeah.
like, tell everyone.
I'm a winner,
$60
baby.
million.
Yeah.
dollars. I will say, eat the rich, except for Twyla. Twyla gets a
Yes.
pass. Yeah.
Yeah. I totally agree.
Even though
Good for
she is
Twyla.
hoarding wealth and she really should reinvest it into her
I think she
community a bit
secretly is.
better.
Again, my headcanon is that she is secretly very charitable.
Oh yeah, she's picking up the town council deficit. Like she's putting in disabled ramps
Yeah.
and doing the child pickup stuff.
She's solely responsible for keeping the economy of Schitt's Creek going.
She's the reason why they can have both Bob, Roland, Ronnie, and Moira employed for a town councilship for what seems to be 20 people in this little town.
Yes, exactly. Okay, do you want to make your reveal for your 2-pointer?
Yeah. Middle of the road, safe, dependable, as always. I gotta give it to Stevie. Without Stevie, the whole David and Patrick thing doesn't happen. It goes into like such a more complex and difficult conversation. I feel like she's not fully deserving of the full 3 because the ponytail and the tucked in shirt was just an absolute betrayal of her roots. I don't
I
care how
really hated
important
it.
she
I
is.
really hated
I did not like it at all.
I was like, Stevie, what are you doing? Stop it. Take your hair down.
I was like, David, yeah, rightfully shame her for that. But no, Stevie, again, like similar to Twyla, I feel like Stevie is often overlooked. I feel like we need to give her her flowers whenever she's deserving of them. She hasn't quite had the season that she has had previously, but she's still been there. She's still such an important character, and that there is so much support that she gives David, and seeing the way in which their friendship has blossomed and the way in which she's always there for David, and they are still just the most awful people together in the most loving way. Yeah, I have to give it to Stevie, I think.
This is so tough because I will say, like, I had 3 people battling for my 2 points. I felt like for 3 points, I was like, I feel like there's one person who kind of stands a bit above the rest. But for the 2 points, 3 different people I think were battling for it, and Stevie was one of them. I'm still waffling, and I think
gotta make a decision.
I know. I think ultimately I am gonna go with David. And Stevie again. Stevie was one of my options. I respect all of your opinions on like she makes this happen in a way. Like she is the catalyst for David deciding to stay in Schitt's Creek. But I also want to reward David for like the journey that he's taken to get here, where he doesn't care what his old New York friends think anymore. Where like, and also just like he has to tell his family he's not going with them, right? Like he has to tell his sister, I'm not moving in with you. I have to make this decision. And to like, again, he's not the most selfless character. And so for him to realize, like, even though Patrick would move with me, I don't want him to have to do that because he doesn't want to do that. And like putting someone else before himself, like, is like kind of new for David, right? Like, I want to reward it because I know it's difficult for him. And I think it'd be very easy for him to return to New York where he fits in a little bit better, right? Like there's a little bit more culture, right? Like I think he enjoys that life. I don't think he doesn't enjoy life in Schitt's Creek. I just think he misses the hustle and bustle of New York City. So it couldn't be me. But I do want to reward David because I think what he does is very selfless, and I don't think we get to see that a ton from David.
That's great. No, I like that. Spoilers, my 3 points is not for David.
I didn't think so because I think we're matching here. Yeah.
But I'm gonna use this opportunity to say that one pizza, what is this? Les Mis? Funniest line of the whole episode. The
fact that you then see him take 3 slices when I come from a family of 4, like I know that if you get a pizza pie, it's 8 slices. So each person gets 2. And David took 3 and I adore him for it. Yeah.
So funny.
What is this Les Mis? It's so good. It's so good. And I get the reference now because I've seen Les Mis. Yeah. So
Unbelievable.
good.
So yeah, 3 points. Who go first? I
I
mean,
mean, I think
should we say it on three?
yes.
Okay. 1, 2, 3. Alexis.
Alexis. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
She
Okay,
had
fine.
to. The thing is like I feel like while if we're looking at what all these characters are doing, maybe David jumps over one hurdle in like the being selfless for Patrick sort of a thing. Stevie jumps over one hurdle of like getting David to see clearly that he belongs here, not New York. Alexis is both, selfless when it comes to Twyla and the money, selfless when giving the dresses to Twyla, and then bold and independent in choosing to move to New York when the rest of her family has now said, we are not going to New York. Like, she knocks down every single barrier that is put up in front of her this episode. And I just don't know how it really could go to anyone else. The 3 points, I mean,
Mhm.
she's so deserving of it.
Yeah, I completely agree. Much like with Stevie, I feel like Alexis had maybe more focus last season as well. Like I feel like this season has obviously been there's been some funny episodes. Like she's been the butt of jokes, what with the whole like kind of rebound situation and post breakup with Ted stuff. But I feel like this episode really was a celebration of Alexis and the amount of growth she's had, and really giving us a chance to reflect and acknowledge how far she's come. Yeah, like it's so stupid to be proud of a fictional character, but I'm genuinely so proud of Alexis. It's just yeah, I feel like of all characters, she's absolutely deserving of them this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. As for the disgruntled pelican, here's the thing. I
Roland
could.
wasn't in it. Roland
He
wasn't
was
in it.
in
We don't
it.
even was
He stole the cinnamon buns from the motel.
I've got my out. I've got my out.
But here's the
I'm so
thing.
happy.
Because I agree, like, he's there, he steals the cinnamon buns, he's like gonna bring them back to the dealership to get a better deal on like the
Oh
truck
yeah,
or
I forgot about
something.
that. Yeah.
But like, I don't know. I think I would put forward a motion to not have a disgruntled. If we're going to give out 6 points apiece this episode, I don't necessarily think we should be negating anyone when like there is no one that I think deserves it. Even Roland, who steals the cinnamon buns, I'm like, really? That's not enough for me to be like, everyone steals the
No.
cinnamon buns. Has a guest ever
Yeah.
had a cinnamon bun? Probably not.
No. Even the whole Rose family stole them when they first
Yes, and
even
we didn't
arrived.
penalize them.
Yeah. Yeah. The only thing I would say about the whole like Roland situation is buying a new car, and like that I was a bit like kind of worried about, because I know
Yeah,
it's the same mindset I've had with Johnny and Mario. I'm like, you're setting up a business and you're getting investment for the business. You're not suddenly bajillionaires. Like, calm it down a little
yeah,
bit. Had it not been for Moira's like diamond tennis bracelet and huge windfall of getting this big like TV gig, I'd be like, calm it down, Johnny, a little bit. Like, you can't
yeah,
just casually jaunt over to the other coast of the country on a whim. Like, plan
yeah.
this shit out. So that was a bit thing. But yeah, I can totally go with not giving anyone any
Especially because he
points.
was
I
just
feel like
test
vibes.
driving the truck. Like he didn't actually buy it. I think
Yeah,
there's a
yeah.
difference between being like, I want to go test drive a new car and like actually
Mhm.
putting pen to paper and buying the thing. So I can like headcanon that they didn't buy the truck. They just, well, I guess
Yeah.
we'll see next episode if we
Also,
see the
I
truck.
mean, like the ingenuity of taking cinnamon buns back to a dealership in the hope of getting a sunroof out of it. Good
Yeah,
business.
good
Roland is
job.
learning.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I don't think we need to. We're being super kind this episode. We'll just take a page out of all
Yeah.
the Roses books and
And
be
if
kind.
anyone is listening and is angry that we're not handing out LVP points, let me remind you, it's our podcast, and we'll
We'll
do
do what we
whatever the
want.
fuck we like.
You'll get the LVP. You'll get the disgruntled pelican if you
Uh-huh.
shit on it. That's what happens.
But please leave a 5-star
Yeah.
review.
Please do. Please do. Okay, let's tier rank this episode because we are getting so close to the end. We have 2 episodes left to tier rank. So start spreading the news. I mean, God, talk about the warm and fuzzies. Like all of them, every single warm and fuzzy. It is like, here you go,
Mm-hmm.
silver platter of warm and fuzzies. But where? Because I think we're both going to be like hot shit for sure. It's hot shit.
It's hot shit, yeah.
Yeah.
This is the most supreme warm and fuzzies. Also the sads as well, like that emerging
Yeah.
fourth circle is certainly there as well. We have major plot points because we do get like real things that are happening, like real substantive changes in people's lives. So I feel like we get a
Mhm.
huge amount of plot, and we also have banger funny lines. Like the emergence that Twyla is a millionaire is hilarious. Like the fact that they
Yeah.
have like maybe it's a thing they've thrown in at the last minute because they're like, we can and we can get this joke in and it really doesn't affect the canon of the show. But also, if you twist it around and be like, no, they've planned this the whole time, I
It works.
love it. Like, I love it either way. And yeah, what is this one pizza? Les Mis. Like that alone, hot shit. Like top of the list for me, I
Yeah.
think. I think this is the
I
best episode so
agree.
far.
I think like I could quibble that there are funnier episodes, but like in terms of the warm fuzzies and the feeling and the heart in this episode, it's really hard to deny it. It's hard to say that any other episode is more deserving of a spot
Mm-hmm.
at the top. So yeah, I'm in full agreement. Let's put it at the top of hot shit. That brings us up to 6 episodes in the hot shit tier. Um,
Woo!
2 in full bouquet and 5 in love that journey for me. And I know we started off a little low, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
the first 4 episodes are in love that journey for me, which is
Yeah.
just the average placement, but we have been like really top tier the last few episodes, and I'm really really excited for you to get to see the finale. So it's gonna be so good.
I'm really worried. I mean, this is really ending a dynamic between our friendship here, Jess. Like you've been like holding this over me that you know what happens and I don't know what happens, and I've
Mhm.
got to keep it a secret. YouTube is going to be free and open for me to search whatever the hell I like to do with this show. I can't wait
Yeah.
for that.
Yeah, just to
Oh,
tease a little bit for the next episode. So happy ending, that's the name of the episode.
ooh,
I'm just seeing, I want to see when did it air. Uh April 7th. Yeah, okay, that's what I thought. This episode of television aired April 7th, 2020. For those that live under a rock and don't remember, that is less than a month after the world went into lockdown. Uh
crikey.
so that is when this episode came out. Uh this episode destroyed me. I was unwell. Like I am notoriously a person who generally does not cry at TV. It's really really rare for a show to hit me in a way that brings tears to my eyes. I was a mess this episode for multiple reasons. One being that the world was in crisis and my mental health was really bad. But
Mhm.
it was also the end of just like a show that brought me so much joy. And it is one of the best finales of a series finales I've seen. I think like it is up there for me. Like there are certain shows that I think hit that like Mount Rushmore status of best endings of all time, and this is one of them. It is so well done. It is so full of heart. It is so funny. I cannot wait for you to see this episode. It's so good.
I will shortly be diving in and it'll be over.
I also think you're gonna be pleased with the one final Moira look. I think you're gonna die. Yeah. I'm hoping you
Okay.
didn't get spoiled on it at some point. Um, you may have,
I'm
but I don't. I
trying
don't
to
know.
I'm trying to think, like, if there's anything iconic that we finally got the Alexa gif. I just realized as well the whole like that one, like,
Yeah.
finally got that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And last episode we got the like the flip the hair one. The like.
yeah. Like I feel like all these like iconic gifs and like memes and images and things. I'm slowly ticking them off. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I don't know. I think I've been spoiled on. I think David's outfit for the wedding. I
Okay.
think
I mean
that's
that's
what I
fine.
have been
I don't think
spoiled on.
that's. I don't think that's
But
a big
yeah.
deal. By the way, I'm gonna say this at the end of the podcast because like maybe people will stop listening at this point anyway. I was not into David's shirt this episode. The sweater with the hand. It like weirded me out. Like what about something about that hand is like so creepy to me.
Of all shirts you question, you finally picked this one. What? Why?
I just didn't
It
like it.
wasn't
I
that
don't know.
weird, was it?
It was really weird. It was not just because it was a hand, but like it was like something about the way the hand was like filled in with like a murky kind of a vibe. It gave
Bit
horror
wispy,
movie.
wasn't it? Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't like
Were you
it.
not more freaked out by the shape of Moira's sparkly hat?
And I
Like,
liked
because
it.
it made her look like an egg.
I liked it. I like eggs. No problem with eggs.
I like eggs.
I do. I had eggs Benedict the other day, and there's nothing wrong with eggs
Love
Benny.
eggs Ben. Oh
Like
yeah,
you can't. It's one of my favorite things, and I decided I will learn how to make poached eggs in the next year because I need to. Why are you making that? You just make poached eggs on the regular?
pretty regularly.
It just seems so hard to do, though. Because isn't there
Boil
so you
water,
have to, boil the
swirl
water,
it,
you have to
crack
spin it
it,
around,
that's
you
it.
have to crack the egg in it, and then you have to like make the hollandaise sauce. It's like a thing.
Oh, you're making hollandaise sauce. Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. That's not a regular
Can you
thing.
buy hollandaise sauce? I guess you can.
You can, but that's a bit wrong. That's just like heating
Well,
up.
like, what are you? If you want eggs Benny, like, then you need
I'm saying
hollandaise.
I know you poke eggs on the reg, not eggs Benny on the reg. Like,
Yeah, the most I've done is like I'm a sunny side up girly. You know, I love to poke a yolk. Give me that drippy yolk all day.
yeah.
But anyway, eggs Benny is the best. I don't know how we got here. Next week will be happy ending. Then we're gonna do the special. So we'll cover that, and then we'll come back for our series wrap up. So now's the time. If you have final words you'd like to give us, now's the time to start sending your emails in. Now's the time to send us in a voicemail. Do whatever. Leave us a 5-star review. Do whatever you want. Talkingschitt.com. You know all the places. And yeah, and then we're gonna announce what we're up to next.
Yeah.
Also.
I mean, slight thing to kind of like build up a smidge of hype and stuff. There might even be an appearance, just a brief one of a cast member from the show. So look out for that. I'll probably play it next week.
Can't wait.
I previewed it today and was on the floor laughing because of the absurdity of it. So yeah, you see how that goes. But yeah, like feedback. Like, given we've only got a short period of time together, people, I want to hear everyone's thoughts. So yeah, please do send it in, and we love it. Like, it honestly brightens up our day whenever we get anything through.
Really does. Yeah. Okay. Well, I don't know. I think that's about it. I think that's all we have.
I'm gonna go watch it.
So that he can go watch the final episode and die sobbing. It's gonna break you. I'm not even trying to like sugarcoat it. You will be a mess. Like, you can't watch this episode and then have plans like 15 minutes later. Because you will simply have to like cocoon and hibernate and eat your weight's worth of like ice cream to feel better. After
I do have some Ben and Jerry's, so that can be done. Yeah, I mean, like, just the fact that you don't cry at things, and I seek out things to make me cry to watch. Like, yeah, this does not bode well.
I think I can count on one hand the number of like television shows / movies that have made me cry. So it's a top tier. It's top tier.
Hey, I can do that for this week.
I cry. I just cry at other things. Existential dread, less so television and movies. But yeah, I look forward to hearing all of your thoughts and everyone else's thoughts if they want to send them in. But until next time, everyone, warmest regards
and best wishes.
Tweet us on Facebook or leave us a review, and you say, yeah, okay, I think I will.